From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, April 9th. Happy Friday, everybody. After some lingering morning showers, we should be able to salvage the afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds, highs in the lower to mid 70s. Not too bad. But it is a split weekend with a very wet Saturday. Expect some rain chances throughout the entire day, highs in the upper 60s. Then some spotty rain chances will continue through Sunday. Highs cooling to the mid 60s. By the end of the weekend, we could see about 1 inch of rain accumulation. We have been following breaking news all morning long on Daybreak, on WishTV.com. Right now, the latest news out of Britain is that the royal family has confirmed Prince Philip has died. Buckingham Palace was the first to tweet about it this morning. The royal family tweeted it is with deep sorrow that Her Majesty the Queen has announced the death of her beloved husband, His Royal Highness, and closes with His Royal Highness passed away peacefully this morning at Windsor Castle. The plans for any tributes or events following Philip's death haven't been publicly announced yet, and right now it's unclear what kind of events will be able to take place due to COVID-19 restrictions. The Queen will need to sign off on any plans before they're confirmed. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson paid tribute to Prince Philip, saying that he'd earned the affection of generations here in the United Kingdom, across the Commonwealth, and around the world. Prince Philip was 2 months shy of his 100th birthday. And today, Indianapolis remembers and honors Officer Breann Leath. She was killed while serving in the line of duty on this day in 2020. And there are 2 events to remember the day. One event is a roll call, the first in her honor. Often, they're held at the officer's district, but today's will be at her gravesite inside Crown Hill Cemetery in the Heroes Public Safety section. Leath's grave is nearly surrounded by American and Back the Blue flags, and also has a plaque that says, "Blessed are the peacemakers." There's also an angel, a porcelain shoe, and some silk flowers. On April 9th of last year, Officer Leath got a call of domestic violence at an apartment in the East District. She was shot as she approached the apartment door. Her shooter was arrested and faces the death penalty. Leath was 24 years old. She left behind a now 5-year-old son. She'll also be remembered inside the halls of the Indianapolis Women's Prison. She served in the Wee Ones nursery, where pregnant and postpartum inmates and their babies receive care. Things like prenatal education, safe sleep courses, car seat, and nutrition classes. This morning, the clinic will be rededicated as the Breann Leath Maternal Child Health Unit. The Department of Corrections says right now 11 mothers and 3 pregnant women are using the unit, with 323 total moms served. Both events today are officially closed to the public. However, the Heroes of Public Safety section inside Crown Hill is open from dawn to dusk today for those who would like to pay their respects, give tributes to her. If you'd like to listen to those tributes, you can just search Breann Leath on our website. Tributes coming in from people like her mother and field trainer. Indiana University is honoring a former football player who was killed during the Indianapolis riots last year. The university is rolling out the Chris Beatty Indiana Football Scholarship for an athlete on the team. Head coach Tom Allen says the university is also renaming the Walk-On Award to the Chris Beatty Outstanding Walk-On Award. The first recipients of the Chris Beatty Outstanding Walk-On Award are Davion Irvin Poindexter and Christian Harris. Beatty played football at IU from 2000 to 2003. Beatty's mom says he spent lots of time coaching and working with kids in Indianapolis as well.
He would be ecstatic and he would love it because that was what he wanted to do. He felt like that it was a lot of people in life that helped him.
Beatty's former high school, Cathedral, is also introducing a scholarship to honor him. Every 4 years, it will pay one student's full 4-year tuition. And police are releasing the name of the man accused in a mass shooting in Texas. Larry Bolin is 27. He's booked on a murder charge and faces a $1 million bond. Police in Bryan, Texas say Bolin was a worker at the cabinet-making company where it happened. Investigators say Bolin fatally shot one person, wounded 5 others there, then wounded a state trooper as police tried to arrest him. And this morning, the man wounded in a mass shooting in South Carolina that killed 5 others is out of surgery. In a Facebook post, the man's daughter says he's in intensive care and on a ventilator. According to the York County Sheriff, the man was working at a home in Rock Hill when the shooting happened. Authorities say former NFL player Philip Adams is the man responsible. Adams played on 6 teams over 6 seasons, including the 49ers, the Raiders, and the Falcons. The sheriff says evidence at the scene of the shooting led deputies to Adams' parents' home. Deputies evacuated Adams' parents before trying to talk Adams out of the house, and then authorities believe Adams shot himself inside the home. President Biden is calling on Congress to act and address gun violence in the United States. The move comes after Biden signed 6 executive orders focused on gun control. The orders include tightening regulations on pistol stabilizing braces and homemade firearms. Biden also called on the Senate to move background checks bills forward that have already passed through the House.
Gun violence in this country is an epidemic, and it's an international embarrassment. They've offered plenty of thoughts and prayers, members of Congress. Enough prayers. Time for some action.
The president is also asking the Justice Department to draft model red flag laws so states can develop their own. Red flag laws let law enforcement seize firearms from people deemed dangerous. And Indiana already has a version of a red flag law called the Jake Laird Law. The law allows police to take guns away from someone they believe is dangerous or mentally unstable. Marion County's prosecutor tells us the law does have some gray areas. For instance, once police take a gun, there's nothing stopping the person from buying another one. Ryan Mears says the legislation has helped save lives. He believes every state should support such measures.
Which rationalize why this is a bad thing. We are taking the guns out of the hands of people who have demonstrated that they have issues with mental instability. And it also gives law enforcement a way to proactively address this challenge of what do I do with this person who maybe is not committing a crime at this particular moment in time, but poses a threat or is dangerous to either himself or his family.
The Jake Laird Law is named for an Indianapolis police officer shot and killed by a man who struggled with mental illness.
Searching for a romantic summer getaway? Escape with Rich Girl Summer, the new Audible original from Lily Chu. The exquisitely talented Philippa Sue returning to narrate her 5th Lily Chu title. This time, Philippa is joined by her real-life husband, Stephen Pasquale. Set in Toronto's wealthy cottage country, aka the Hamptons of Canada, Rich Girl Summer follows the story of Valerie, a down-on-her-luck event planner posing as a socialite's long-lost daughter, while piecing together the secrets surrounding a mysterious family and falling deeper and deeper in love with the impossibly hard-to-read and infuriatingly handsome family assistant, Nico. Caught between pretending to belong and unexpectedly finding where she truly fits in, Valerie learns her summer is about to get far more complicated than she ever planned. She's in over her head and head over heels. Listen to Rich Girl Summer now on Audible. Go to audible.com/richgirlsummer.
One COVID-19 vaccine clinic in North Carolina is altering plans after multiple people reported reactions to the shot. The Wake County Public Health Department says more than 2,300 doses of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine were administered yesterday at a clinic in Raleigh. Of those, Wake County EMS tended to 18 patients reporting some reactions to the shot. Many of the reactions were some of the more typical ones that we've heard of and that Johnson & Johnson has said could be a side effect here. Now, Wake County says 14 of the people had minor reactions, were treated there on site. 4 were taken to local hospitals for some observation, and 1 is remaining in the hospital.
We're really very much in its infancy at this time and just trying to evaluate what were the causes for this and is there any reason to be concerned.
This morning, the health department says it is switching to the Pfizer vaccine there at that clinic. According to that health department, people wanting to wait for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine instead can reschedule their appointments. And today there is a mass vaccination clinic in Howard County. The county's health department is running it at the Kokomo Event Center on Reed Road. It runs from until 4 this afternoon, today and tomorrow. We checked this morning. There are still some appointments open for tomorrow, not today. The clinic is administering that Johnson & Johnson shot. The health department is not saying how many doses of the vaccine it has available. Carmel is preparing to reopen its city hall. City officials say the building is opening back to the public and employees Monday because of the dramatic increase of vaccinations and low hospitalization numbers. According to the city, everyone who enters City Hall will have their temperature checked. People who have been vaccinated will not need to wear a mask. Visitors may be asked about that vaccination status. Also, starting next week, people will be able to participate in council meetings. Carmel will continue offering a live stream of the procedures as well. Places of worship could soon be deemed essential services during a declared emergency. That's if Governor Holcomb signs a measure into law that allows religious institutions to hold services without limitations on capacity or mask mandates. Restrictions could still apply to associated schools or daycares. Religious leaders spoke out about being forced to close last year during early stages of the pandemic. Holcomb has not said if he'll sign the bill. A state house committee has made changes to a new voting bill. The panel deleted a provision to require voters to put their driver's license number or the last four digits of their Social Security for paper mail ballot applications. It would only be required for online applications. Voting rights advocates argue that would create a hurdle for some voters. They say some likely don't know which number is on file with county election officials. Supporters say that the move improves security. A state budget bill proposal moves on to the Senate after passing out of committee. Republican state senators want to increase funding for K-12 schools by more than $400 million over 2 years. The plan would also increase Indiana Choice Scholarship Program award levels. Federal funding would also be allocated for mental health treatment. The vice president of Mental Health America of Indiana told News 8 he had concerns that mental health and addiction services might lose funding under the proposal. But the plan also allocates millions of dollars in federal money to expanding internet access, water infrastructure, and transportation. Both the defense and prosecution are focusing on drug use in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. As Camila Bernal reports, a medical expert is rejecting a theory that George Floyd's drug use and underlying health problems are what killed him.
A healthy person subjected to what Mr. Floyd was subjected to would have died.
Significant testimony from a world-renowned expert in pulmonology and critical care contradicting a key tenet of Derek Chauvin's defense, that George Floyd died of pre-existing health conditions and drug use.
Mr. Floyd died from a low level of oxygen.
Dr. Martin Tobin says he believes the combination of the handcuffs, the street, and position of Chauvin's knee on Floyd's neck and back made it impossible for Floyd to breathe.
With each breath, he has to try and fight.
A second medical expert agreed.
Mr. Floyd died from positional asphyxia, which is a fancy way of saying he died because he had no oxygen left in his body.
The defense focused on the potential impact of Floyd's heart disease.
You would expect that he would be complaining of chest pain, and you would expect that he would be demonstrating a very rapid respiratory rate. We don't see either.
And arguing fentanyl use may have been the cause of Floyd's death. But the experts called to the stand on Thursday rejected those theories.
He is saying, please, please get off of me. I want to breathe. I can't breathe. That is not a fentanyl overdose. That is somebody begging to breathe.
In Minneapolis, I'm Camila Bernal.
7 dogs and 7 cats are now in custody of the Boone County Humane Society after being removed from a house in Lebanon. The Boone County Sheriff's Department says neighbors claim the owners left the animals behind after vacating the property. The sheriff says there were no clean services for the animals in the home. The department says nearly all the animals were significantly underweight or sick. The Animal Control Division says it will submit criminal charges to the county prosecutor. The Caribbean island St. Vincent is under a red alert right now. This morning, emergency officials are warning that a volcano could erupt at any time now. The island experienced a volcanic tremor yesterday morning. There are now orders for 7,000 people to evacuate. Ships are coming to the island to help. The country's National Emergency Management Organization announced that Royal Caribbean is sending a cruise ship to gather people. And forecasters expect the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season to be more active than normal. The prediction, 17 named storms, 8 of them hurricanes, 4 of those strong enough to be called major. The seasonal average is 12 named storms, 6 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. The outlook is from Colorado State University. Current warm sea surface temperatures in the subtropic Atlantic is driving the above average probability. CSU has been releasing hurricane forecasts since 1984. Now to some business headlines. Californian drivers are edging closer to paying $4 for a gallon of gas with the state open for business again, and Governor Gavin Newsom planning for a summer with almost no restrictions. The average price in the state has risen 18 cents in the last month to $3.93 a gallon on Thursday. As a comparison, AAA says the current average in central Indiana is $2.73 a gallon. Verizon is recalling 2.5 million hotspot devices after discovering that the lithium-ion battery can overheat, creating a fire and burning hazard. The recall impacts Ellipsis Jetpack mobile hotspots imported by Franklin Wireless Corp. And sold between April 2017 and March 2021. The recall comes at a time when more consumers have relied on hotspots to get by during stay-at-home orders resulting from the pandemic. Southwest Airlines said it is recalling over 2,700 flight attendants from leave to support its summer schedule, ending a voluntary furlough program introduced during the coronavirus pandemic. Last week, the low-cost airline said it had recalled 209 pilots from a similar voluntary leave program. B&W sales recorded in the first quarter reached an all-time high and grew by 33% compared to the same period of 2020. That last bit is to be expected, as 2020 was probably the worst year in terms of sales since the 90s. Even so, reaching an all-time high figure is not an easy feat to achieve. The biggest sellers were the SUVs, accounting for 36.5% of all cars sold. Researchers at Stanford University are partnering with wearable device maker Empatica and a COVID-19 saliva test manufacturer, Clinical Reference Lab, to gauge how wearable devices like smartwatches can detect the virus even before symptoms appear. The researchers say they're able to detect COVID on an average of 4 days in advance using algorithms, and were able to see it as far as 9 days in advance in some cases. This could be key in the fight against COVID, especially for those with no or minor symptoms. This has been your News 8 Daily for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.